Okay, so pretty much I'm going to make this as quick as possible. A lot of people have been texting, calling, commenting about what happened down in Cancun. Well, we get there Friday. To the resort, the Grand Oasis Sens in the hotel zone of Cancun. Everything's fine. We're laughing, talking, having a good time, getting drinks, not drinking in excess, but we're having drinks, having a good time. We have dinner, and then it gets to be late, like around 11 or so, and I'm tired. I mean, I'm ready to like go to bed. And my husband, he's like, no, I'm still ready to explore, and I want to see what else is there to do here. So he goes for a walk. Tells me he's going for a walk, and I'm like, okay. And that's the last time I ever see my husband. So it gets to be like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up out of my sleep, and I notice that my husband is still not back in the room. So at that point, I grow angry. I'm like, you know what? This is ridiculous. This is supposed to be our honeymoon. Where is he at? So I convince myself he'll be back. Just go back to bed, Courtney. So that's what I do. I go back to sleep. 3 a.m. rolls around. Still no husband. So at this point, I'm like, worry is overcoming the anger right now. I'm worried. I'm concerned at this point. I'm like, this is not like him to just leave and don't contact me. He doesn't even have his phone on him. I look on the dresser and there his phone sits. So at this point, I'm like, I gotta go get my man. I gotta go find my husband. So I get dressed. I go out of the room. I go downstairs. I go outside to look like near the ocean. I'm like, did the current come in and take him or what? He's still not out there. It's pitch black. Like, it's dark. So it's almost as if the resort shuts down at a certain time. I mean, it's 3 a.m. So I come back in and I see a security guard. And he's like, hey, senorita, you okay? I'm like, actually, no, there's a problem. I can't find my husband. So he goes over his walkie-talkie and I guess communicates with the front desk. And they tell him, I guess, to have me come up there. So I go to the front desk, and the gentleman at the front desk, he asks me what's wrong, and I tell him my husband has gone missing. So he asks me for my room number, and I tell him 507, and then he looks in the system, and he's like, oh, apparently there's been a situation. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the situation? And he tells me, your husband has been arrested. And I'm like, arrested? What what did he do? And he's like, he punched me. He punched me twice. And I'm just like, oh no, like how is that even possible? Like, my husband just doesn't go around punching people. And so he was like, yeah, they took him to jail. And I was like, well, what do I do? How do I get him out? Like, what's the fine? And he's like, I don't know what the fine is, but you should just go back to bed and try and get some rest. And then, in the morning you go catch the bus, the bus will take you. So I didn't argue. I just apologized. Sorry that you got punched. So go back to my room. I cry because at this point I'm alone in a foreign country on our honeymoon, and my husband's in jail. I'm sad. I'm alone. I'm upset. I'm mad. I'm frustrated. So I try to go back to sleep, watching Seinfeld, watching Will and Grace. Those are like the only two channels that were in English. So anyway, I do happen to drift off. Then I get a phone call, 7 o'clock a.m. It's not on my cell phone, though. It's on the hotel phone in my room. So I answer it, and it's my husband. And he's like, hey, and I'm in jail. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, I don't even remember anything. I'm like, well, apparently you punched somebody, you got into a fight. And actually the guy told me that you tackled a security guard, and it took like four men to like slam you down on the ground on the floor. I'm like, what happened? I was like, did you get that drunk? He was like, I don't remember anything. I just remember being at the bar and talking to this Mexican couple and some other guy, and the Mexican couple was um, asking me about The Walking Dead and other American shows. He said I was tipping the bartender, and I gave him a dollar bill, U.S. money. And then the couple next to him, they saw it, and I guess they were like, "Oh, you're American," and they wanted to take pictures with them. I mean, they were treating him like a celebrity. So then it didn't click right away. So anyway, um, I asked him to let me speak to the guard or the warden or whoever was in charge there. So he got on the phone, and I said, "How much is his fine? How much is his bail?" And he said that he couldn't tell me that over the phone, that I had to come there in person. So I'm like, "Sir, I'm not from here. I don't have a car. All right. I don't have money. The money that we did have is on my husband." And by the way, my husband said that his money was stolen. He had money in his wallet, US dollars and pesos. His money was stolen. His wedding ring was stolen. His hat was stolen. His belt was stolen. Like two credit cards were stolen. Thank God they're inactive, but they were stolen. Okay? So money's gone or whatever. I think I had like $30 in my purse. So I get off the phone with him, and I get dressed and I go downstairs. I'm ready to catch a bus because I have to do at this point whatever it takes to get my husband out of jail in Mexico. Like, that's just, I'm not gonna let him sit in that jail. So I don't care what I have to do to get him out at this point. So get downstairs, go outside. It's a security guard standing outside of the door, and he's asking me, where am I going? And it's not that I'm annoyed. Actually, I liked that. He asked what my room number was and where I was going, just in case I didn't come back. Hey, at least they know where I'm going. So I told him I'm going to the jail. And then he was like, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, the bus stop is right down there, and just wait for the bus and tell him that you want to go to the jail, and he'll take you right there." So that's what I did. I stood at the bus stop in a foreign country in Mexico by myself, and I caught the bus. Told the driver I needed to go to the jail. Paid him. I tried to give him 4 quarters, a dollar. He didn't take the 4 quarters. He gave them back, and he said it either had to be the Mexican coins or US dollar. So I gave him a $5 bill, and he gave me change in pesos or whatever the coins are called. But anyway, he drops me off at my stop. I guess it was like a 10-minute drive or so. He drops me off at the stop, and he tells me that the jail is right up ahead. So it was a short walk. Going there, and I see my husband, a hot mess. He's handcuffed to the cell, to the bar. One hand is handcuffed to the bar. He doesn't have on any shoes. There's no padding in the cell, like mattress, nothing. It's all concrete. Like, his bed is concrete to the point where he might as well just be laying on the floor. That breaks my heart seeing him like that. So I'm just like, there is no way I'm gonna let him stay in here. So I go up to him, grab his hand, of course, ask him what he wants me to do. Who does he want me to call? What does he want me to do? I'm at his disposal pretty much. So he tells me, who to contact and who to get in touch with. So I'm making all kinds of phone calls. Meanwhile, I had asked the warden how much his bail was. $350. And of course, we didn't have that because our money was stolen. So anyway, after calling around, I was able to find someone that could give us the money, and I had to wait around for Western Union. That took like maybe 3 hours. I'm going back and forth from the Western Union, which is down the street, back and forth to the jail, until finally the money comes through, because apparently Mexico and Cuba have been banned from receiving Western Union. I hadn't heard that, but I'm just assuming it's maybe because of all of the drug trafficking or something. Just a guess. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's why it took so long. And then I finally got the money, went back to the prison, gave the money up to the officer, and then my husband gets out. He gets out, but his shoes are gone. The shoes that he went in there with, they're gone. So we're like, "Well, where's the shoes?" And they're like, "Well, we don't know." And So anyway, long story short, we leave out of the jail. He's barefoot and we're walking on the hot sidewalk in a foreign country in Mexico back to the bus stop. We get on the bus and we get off at the wrong stop. I'm telling you, like, this is just, we need to like write a book, or this needs to like be a movie or something. But now y'all understand why I could not type all of this on Facebook or in a text message. I just could not. But anyway, we catch the next bus because apparently our hotel was on the opposite side and we were on the wrong bus. He was like, you got to catch another bus that goes on that side of the street. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to argue because this is a foreign country. This is Mexico and we are American. But anyway, bus takes us back to the hotel. And meanwhile, my husband's wristband that you're supposed to be wearing for the resort, it got cut off. So I'm assuming during the altercation or fight or whatever it was that someone from the staff removed his wristband because it was no longer there. So anyway, we get back, go up, we get showered, we change, and then the phone rings and it's the jail again saying that they found his shoes. So we're like, yeah, all right. So he's like, are you going to come and get them? So we're like, yeah. So we hop back on the bus in a foreign country in Mexico and we go back to the prison or the jail to get his shoes. And then we hop back on the bus in a foreign country in Mexico and go back to the resort. So when we get back to the resort, we're like, okay, let's get something to eat. Let's get in the pool or the beach or one or whatever. So I'm like, yeah. So we're out there on the beach and my husband goes to get some towels. And then he comes back and he's like with these security guards and they're like, yeah, you need to come with us. And so I'm like, okay. So I'm walking with my husband and these two security guards and they lead us to this, I guess, supervisor. And then he's telling us, due to the situation and the circumstances, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And I'm just like, leave? And my husband is like, well, what happened? Because I don't remember anything. And he's like, well, we got you on video and, there was an argument between you and the staff member and then we see you punching him. And my husband is like, I don't remember any of that. And he was like, what was I arguing over? Like, what was the argument about? And the guy's like, well, we don't have any audio. And my husband was like, well, can I see the video footage? And they were like, no. And they followed us back to our room. And I was just like, is there anybody that we can speak to, like, above you? And he's like, no, I'm the only one that you want to speak to right now because I'm the nicest one you're going to get to talk to. So I'm like, okay, well, is there like a number for corporate or something? And he's like, no, I didn't argue. We're in a foreign country. We're in Mexico. That's not how we do things here in America, but hey, I'm in a foreign country, When in Rome, do as the Romans. So we packed up our stuff. We had no choice but to leave. I mean, what were we going to do? But these people, they're accusing my husband of fighting and everything. But the gentleman that I spoke with that my husband supposedly hit, his face was fine. No marks, no bruises, no scratch. And my husband supposedly hit him twice. And my husband can fight. If my husband gets into a fight, most likely 9 times out of 10, he's going to win. But my husband was the one with the bruise. When I went to see my husband in the jail, my husband's eye was like swollen shut. But yet, my husband was the one that got arrested. They didn't want to show us the video footage. They just wanted us to leave. They didn't want to give us no numbers, no nothing. My husband's items and belongings and money was stolen. Yet my husband got thrown in jail. I think it was some type of a scam. If you ask me, them people that was at the bar drinking with my husband and, oh, you American, and naming all these American TV shows, Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy, I believe that was a distraction right there. They distracted him and then they slipped something in his drink. Yeah, it may sound far-fetched, but I'm telling you, I really think that's what happened. But anyway, I already reported it to Groupon. So they're already looking into it and investigating it because I'm like, you made us leave the hotel and I wasn't even supposed to check out until Tuesday. Like we got there Friday and our checkout day was Tuesday, but yet we were forced to leave. Forced to leave. Luckily, the shuttle was able to come within 10 minutes to pick us up and take us to the airport. Luckily, we was able to catch the next flight out, which was 7 o'clock the next morning. So yeah, we had to spend the night in the airport. We were at the airport from like maybe 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. Talk about uncomfortable. It was freezing in the airport, no cushion on the seats. I mean, this was just a vacation from hell, seriously. And I'm going to do my best and I'm going to fight and I'm not going to give up until I am either refunded my money or afforded another opportunity to go on a different vacation because this was ridiculous. And I'm sure I left out some details, but that's the gist of it. So, yeah, that's why I didn't want to talk about this on Facebook. And I thank God that we're alive and well because they had every opportunity to kill my husband. Because if he was drugged and he didn't know what was going on, they had every opportunity. And if he did fight, I guarantee it was in self-defense. Because my husband, he was not drunk. We were not drinking like that to get drunk. We had a cocktail, a glass of wine, and he had a beer. And then he went to the bar, I think like for a shot or something. That wouldn't make my husband black out. Like my husband, he drinks. I mean, not he's not an alcoholic or anything, but his tolerance is built up. He has like kind of a high tolerance. So that little bit right there is not going to make him black out like that and not remember anything. He was drugged. But anyway, that's it. I'm tired. I've been yapping on here for over 15 minutes. So I don't know. Thank God we're back on U.S. soil. There's no place like home.